When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's coverage of what should be a throwing race for the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series, all a part of Racers Elite and its series, as tonight we're at iRacing's virtual Rockingham Speedway from Rockingham, North Carolina, here on Maconi Entertainment. Maconi Entertainment is here to bring you action from all types of racing, including this series, the Full Length Cup Challenge, and more. No matter what you're racing, we can bring the action to life. My name is Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Christian Hill. Dylan Coyle. Christian Hill is our producer for this evening's action as we get set to go racing. Tonight should be an interesting one as we continue our stretch of racetracks around a mile or less in distance. The Rock ready to see who's able to thrive down Thunder Alley, Dylan.
I am very excited to see the racing action we get here tonight at Rockingham, and this is going to mark the halfway point of this regular season once the checkered flag falls on these competitors here tonight. So we're already starting to see the standings kind of start to take shape, see who is a contender for the championship, as we see on your screen right now. The point standings, the chase, will be consisting of 5 races. Of course, you see Andrew Tept with 3 wins, Troy Thomas 1 win. They have all locked themselves, or both locked themselves into that chase. But there is that cutoff battle that's happening right now. A few drivers are not going to be eligible. They're all not showing on this screen. You got to make 7 starts out of the 10 regular season races to be eligible for the chase. Drivers like Riley Frost and Brandon Massey, who are not on this screen, have to make all the remaining races to be eligible. But Brandon Zimmerman, 19th, 41 points back of that cut line, has to make every single regular season race remaining to be chase eligible. So Frank Chavez right now is only 8 points up on Kensley Smith. Kensley Smith actually has only missed 1 race. Chavez has made all 4 races so far. So you can see the storyline starting to take shape, JP. There's a lot of intrigue that's starting to build with this cut line in the standings there.
It's getting a lot more pressure cooker-like when it comes to that. Absolutely here for some of these drivers. It's going to be about, can you find a way to victory lane potentially for a lot of these competitors with the way things have shaped up in those point standings. Now keep in mind, talking about the action here tonight, we mentioned we were at Rockingham. Some tracks and some sanctioning bodies distance it at about 1 mile. We have it at 0.94 miles in terms of some of the metrics recorded around here. Rockingham, a place where tires can burn up pretty quickly. In fact, lightning fast, Dylan.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of those tracks where there's nothing else like it in the world of motorsports. And I really do resent the 0.94 miles. This is a 1 mile track, and it is because of how some people like to measure the track. It's been known in my life as 1 mile. I refuse to see it change, and I am dug in. I will never change on this fact, JP. But every corner is a little bit different. Obviously, you see that banking 8 to 25 degrees. It's pretty steep, especially on the backstretch and through the corners here. You're usually going to see a few lanes develop through the course of a race. So lots of excitement will most likely build as we get longer runs here tonight.
Absolutely going to be an interesting night, to say the very least, for a lot of these competitors to see where those tires shake up. Now, keep in mind, we do have 19 starters in the field tonight. Of those, 18 taking part in qualifying, one just now setting lap times and finishing up their session. Only one competitor elected not to take part in the qualifications for tonight. Blair Hoyman was amongst those who just set their lap times, but Phil Archibald amongst some of the fastest on property here this evening. Some of these drivers, not too much separation between them. The top 10 only separated by 2/10 of qualifying, Dylan.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And if you look within the top 4, I mean, you're separated by just around half a tenth. So lots of excitement will build in the early goings here. This race is going to get off to a flying start, I think. Andrew Teft, of course, looks like he's going to be starting in second place. If you're watching this, you're watching it on our YouTube channel, but you can find everything everywhere that we're on MaconiEntertainment.com. Hey, I think you should bring your racing action to life by scanning that QR code and get your race league on a Maconi broadcast, where you can have beautiful voices like myself and JP's just gracing your screens.
Yes, indeed, and tonight should be a fun time to see the action here on Maconi Entertainment, to see how things go up towards the front of the pack. Qualifying just now reaching all zeros in the session. Drivers are now transitioning now to the starting grid for tonight's 120-lap race from Rockingham, North Carolina. So as the drivers now make their way onto the racetrack, it's time to find out how those shuffle. Phil Archibald's on the pole with Andrew Teft alongside the 99, setting the pole time. That time in 24.3s. Sean Dunaway and Riley Frost start in row number 2. Row 3 goes to Curtis Ecker. Truth Hoke start next to him in the 55. Alex Gates starts alongside Brandon Sanfilippo. Sanfilippo showed speed throughout the season. Rob Yost Jr. and Alex Teft, your top 10.
We continue moving down the order, and Blair Hollyman will be starting in P11. Steve Sizemore has not yet gridded up, but will be starting on the outside of row 6. Barry Nelson in 13th in that Wonder Bread machine. Kirby Wainscott alongside. Troy Thomas, an interestingly low qualifying position for the driver of the number 3 machine, will be in 15th. Frank Chavez, we talked about him earlier, 16th on the order. Alan Bergen in 17th. Steve Castle in the 1 machine in P18. In the final starting spot, did not set a qualifying time, Rowan Lloyd in that 61 Toyota Tundra. 120 laps here is what we're getting set to go. And because this is technically a short track, I think we're going to go 2 laps of pacing. But I guess that's going to answer a lot of questions here, JP.
Remember, these drivers running on 65% fuel limit, so going to have the potential pit stops here tonight. 4 tire sets available in the pits as well. 1 faster pair. There are 2 green-white checkers available if necessary. It's also a very hot track temperature tonight. 119 Fahrenheit, the track temperature since it's iRacing Day, May 15th, 2025 in session. So they'll have to manage the heat, manage the tires, and make sure they know when to manage for the pit stops. Here this evening, the full fuel runs usually can go up to 90 or so. We'll see how many stops we end up getting at 65%.
I'll tell you what, JP, it's going to be either a 2 or 3 stop race, or I should say a 1 or 2 stop race. They're going to either cut it in half if they can make it there to lap 60, if it stays green. I don't think it will with the way that this track is kind of goes, how things go here. We could see 40, 40, 40. So 3 40-lap stints with pit stops coming around lap 40 and around lap 80. If they can make it to halfway, that's great. I think the preferred strategy will be a 2-stopper, though.
We'll see how this plays out for the drivers tonight. Everybody happy with us here at Maconi Entertainment for coverage of the Racers Elite Truck Series competitions. Again, all brought to you by Family Traditions RV Rentals for this season. Let's see if we get an extra pace lap, and we will not. So let's get lined up and ready to go. Philip Archibald on the gas, does not go. Andrew Teft has the lift as we're underway for the Rock. Bit of a bogged down start there for the leaders as they all get shuffled in pretty quickly. Top three amongst those single file, many of them using the middle to top groove. We have some spinners already in the bottom groove. Alex Teff got loose, so did Steve Sizemore in the back. We stay green.
Yeah, they didn't spin all the way around. They keep going, lose some positions, but does not appear to have suffered any damage right there. Steve Sizemore in that 08 machine. Yeah, this track is quite difficult to get around. Look at Riley Frost right here, up into 5th position right now, and he's already storming up the field. Remember, we talked a little bit about Riley Frost and the situation that he finds himself in. So Riley can make the playoffs, or I should say the chase, has to make every single race, including this one. Oh, look at that. Oh, a truck is potentially spinning out in the backstretch.
And we do have that from Bergen in the 00. San Filippo's down on the apron with significant damage in the 12. The fender on top of the tire just about. Will indeed have to come on down. There were also a couple others bogged down, but we stay green. It's the same time that Roland Lloyd, he came down and pulled on in. So multiple different drivers having issues down the back straightaway. Thunder Alley can catch you off guard quick.
Yeah, no kidding. And 18 drivers currently in this race, in this field. The 01 machine of Sean Dunaway is just a 10th in front of the Frost machine. Let's take a look at the replay here of what exactly happened to the 12 of Brandon Sanfilippo. And that is a hard and heavy impact to the inside wall. That is a brutal hit there. But remember, these drivers do have one fast repair, so right back out on track Sanfilippo is. Troy Thomas also down pit road, must have had an issue as well.
Yeah, a lot of people having some issues already. Troy Thomas once was already taking tires, it seems. They had right side damage picked up after they slammed the wall and had collected the 00 without a caution flag. We stay green to the field. Bergen already has fallen a lap down. So already these drivers testing their luck around the Rock so far. How do you try and manage yourself here to make sure you last? That's going to be the huge question mark right now, Dylan, because a lot of these drivers have already seen themselves burn up some of their stuff already. 3/10 of fall off in 8 laps.
Yeah, this track is very difficult to get right, and I don't even think it's just because of the track itself. Take a look at I know we talked about it, but the track temperature, it's 117 degrees Fahrenheit. That is about the hottest I've seen a track get in iRacing. If you've seen it hotter or had to deal with hotter, place your comments on the YouTube chat. We're going to be watching it, observing. We are hearing from Christian Hill that 125 is the max that he has seen. So it is very hot. It's very close to being that maximum. So 40 laps, I think, is what we're going to see pit stops. There's no way that these drivers are going to try and make it, not just specifically on fuel, but on tires and the wear, like you said, we're already seeing. Philip Archibald already has seen 3/10, like you said, a fall off. It was 2/10 the last couple laps. Now it's 3/10 around that. Andrew Teft, it's around 2/10 for him. Teft is around 8/10 back of the leader of the race, so it could be kind of a 40-lap, long-run kind of race.
Could very much be for a lot of these drivers as Frost tries to middle the bottom line. Most of the field is trying to run high through 1 and 2. Build some runs that way as they cannonball their way to 3 and 4. And this is a track where you can run multiple different lines in general, and we're going to see that all throughout the entire night. What's your preference on how to drive this racetrack line-wise?
Truly, it's. I would say it's almost like a diamond of sorts, where you kind of hit that first apex right there. You do. I mean, this is the exact line right here. You go up to maybe the second or third groove, which is the third. I'd consider more of the middle groove. We're on board with what felt like the second groove. Through 3 and 4, that's the line I take. It's sort of a smaller version of that we're seeing on board with the 96 machine here through 1 and 2. That lower line, you just can't really hold the momentum that you want to hold. And because of how steep the banking is here, you kind of can go through the corner in a few different options, a few different ways. I don't think there's one right way. It's more of a feeling, especially with the other trucks and cars that you have to deal with in traffic.
Interesting dynamic when it comes to racing, absolutely here. Still, we're keeping an eye on Frost, who hasn't been able to make any inroads on Dunaway. Lead is shrinking, mind you. Blair Harmon is a part of the second pack. Alex Gates, so far, up a couple, but it's the biggest mover, the 32, who's on the charge. And a bit of a slide for the Yost Racing machine, having to reset back in the line.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was pretty solid right there from the 32 to get back in the line, but also to run away all the way back up to the outside. As far as Holloman could do that going into turn 3, I almost felt like he was going to just burn up the rubber, just trying to get back all the way to the outside, because he swung the truck right back up to the outside wall. This is a pretty intense battle that we've got here. Taking a look at the lap times, Hollyman's last lap was around a tenth faster than Alex Gates. So that's something to keep in mind. These 3 drivers are all right now fighting over P5, and the others are just kind of driving away right now. Riley Frost is a good bit ahead of this 5th place battle.
So Hoyman losing a spot to the Misfits Racing truck of Hoke in the midst of that discussion. That's the nature of this run so far, but the battle for the race lead is on side by side for it. Philip Archibald losing ground in 1 and 2. Just lost the race lead. Taft able to take it away. The long run came to the 98. Up to the point, Dunaway now looking for second as Archibald has fallen off by more than a tenth compared to everybody else in the lead pack.
That's the danger of not really having anyone to kind of check yourself with in front. You almost tend to burn the tires up more than you had wanted to, and Archibald is right now in danger of losing another position to Riley Frost. And if he does that, you almost have to wonder how long is it going to take for Alex Gates to reel back in that 99 machine. Some defense on the outside here. Archibald is just, he's pushing really tight through these corners.
It's looking like a bit of a struggle right now for the 99, absolutely, around here. And all sorts of flirtation off struggles, having to lift a fair bit. After burning up the stuff, they've already lost nearly the full second to the top 2 with the pole-way. So we'll see how this plays out the rest of the run, as now they've just about lost the full touch to the race leaders. For the most part, everyone else is settled into their groove, as Archibald preferring to stay up top to defend.
Okay, so here's some interesting information. Andrew Teff's times have fallen off around 0.8 of a second. Archibald's, obviously, he's struggling more than most in front, has fallen off 1.3 seconds. So a full half second slower last time around than the leader of this race right now. And another thing to note, if they are going for a 2-stop strategy, they're only just about halfway through that strategy from really being able to show its teeth. I don't think we'll see a 3-stop strategy. I think that's just that's too many stops and not enough time gained. that would have to start to take place around lap 30. You might see drivers go a little bit longer, cut it a little bit shorter with an undercut in around 16 or so laps time.
We'll see if anybody's willing to do that, prioritize the tires over the fuel. Right now, you see that gap between Teft and Archibald has grown by more than 2+ seconds, by the way, over the course of this past few laps. But Dunaway's not going away. Sean Dunaway looked pretty solid at IRP last time out too. 5th in total points. So far, 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s in 2025 in this part of the series this season.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, you know. I feel like a lot of the drivers so far in this season, Andrew Teft, of course, he's right now hoping to get his 4th win in the 5th race of the season. It's not like he's necessarily running away with, I guess, the regular season points title. Troy Thomas was there. It was 19 points back going into this race, but obviously Troy Thomas is having some issues down. I think it's 2 laps at this point down. It's going to be really tough to really play a factor in the rest of this race. But that's going to be massive for Teft if he wants to win this points battle by the time this season kind of rolls to a close. You know who we haven't talked about yet? Yes, Curtis Ecker we haven't talked about, but I was also going to say Truth Hoke. He's up to P4.
Yeah, Hope quietly has been doing very well this race. Your thoughts on what we've seen from him this season? Because he's only got the 1 top 5/top 10 this season. He's basically been around the mid-pack the rest of the way so far, Dylan.
I mean, sometimes you just have to play your cards when you get the opportunity to do so, right? Truth right now is plus 27 to the cut line, is doing very well with his around just outside top 5 average finishing position. But I feel like he's always got the potential to be there at the end of the day for a potential race-winning situation. It's just Andrew Teft has been so fast for most of this season that when you're trying to round your strategy about how to beat him, it can be a little bit difficult to say, all right, let's try to have the strategy play out where I'm racing for P2, P3. You want that win, it's right there. But Teft has just been so fast. I think Truth Hoke is going to have an opportunity to get a win before this regular season ends, and it could be here today, but he might need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, right now might need that with the way things are shaping up this run. Currently a 1/10.5, 2/10 off the pace of the race leader on average, past 5 or 10 laps. Wants those just running their own race and challenging to the racetrack. It's the best you can say when it comes to many of this field in this moment. Archibald, by the way, has just been plundering downward. Alex Gates trying to find a way to get back to a starting spot here, but Archibald has dropped 6 spots to fall into the clutches of this fight.
Yeah, Archibald and Gates, Alex Teft, they've all kind of fallen a little bit from the drop of the green flag. It's I think what we're seeing here, at least in this green flag run to the first pit stop cycle, is that these drivers need to look after their tires if they want to survive in this race. I mean, Andrew Teft, as Gates makes a move down to the inside, should potentially, really good fight back on the outside from the 99, will have the momentum as well. But the 77, ooh, he pushed tight, had to let his foot off the throttle there. The fall off for Andrew Teft even is over 1.5 seconds at this moment. So that's only after 33 laps of racing. That's insane.
Yeah, this fall off dramatically high here, but it is a track that's like a cheese grater when it comes to tire wear for a reason. Ecker, you're looking at on screen for Chicken Coop. The technical blips, but holding on to the race truck. And right now, Ecker, one of the drivers needing to find points So far, 2 top 10s of the season, but only 16th in the standings. Needs to pick up 20 points to close up to where Frank Chavez is at the end of the cut line.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing right here for the driver of the 8 and Curtis Ecker is that he's only got 3 races so far this season. If he started another race, he would give himself a better opportunity to be at or above that cut line right now. Another thing we haven't really talked about is Kensley Smith. So Kensley is not in this race. Kensley Smith is going to have to, do a lot to get back into this battle when he was in, I don't know, what, three races into the year, only out of 5. So he was down 8 points. Not going to be the situation here as Gates again tries to go down the inside. This is a good battle, but I feel like these tires are kind of to the point where they're not going to have an opportunity to make a move without the other making a mistake.
See some of the drivers trying to battle it out like right here. Gates still yet to find a way around the 99. They've lost almost a second here. Archibald absolutely flooring it to hold on to the spot. We do have pit stop calls on the radio though, as the 00 is pitting off turn 2. Alan Bergen just peeling on really slow. He already had lost a couple laps this race and is really taking it careful for pit road.
Yeah, it feels like this is just a... Is there any damage to that left rear? Maybe a little bit, but it doesn't... but it doesn't feel like this is a damage where the tender love and care right here to the truck should be of utmost priority. I wonder if this is just a race over for that 00 machine. Here's a thought. Right now is pit cycle, because Sean Dunaway has gone into the pits and Rob Yost Jr. has gone down pit road. Philip Archibald, Curtis Ecker. The window has opened, and this is a 2-stop race.
So they're going to split things up on the tire strategy, try and limit the fall off. 83 took pit road for the apex of 3 and 4, losing a bit of time possibly on their pit road entry. Off and away they go for pit service. Rob Yost score behind Dunaway and San Filippo, who have already finished up at least some sort of pit road service. The 12 came down, remember, for repairs earlier in the race. Dunaway 44 seconds behind the leader. Ecker just came down along with Frank Chavez this time by.
So if Andrew Teft decides that he wants to just keep going until that halfway point, I don't necessarily hate the idea either, because let's just say you go 2 seconds back. The real question is, if you have a 40 laps extra on tires that have around 1.5 seconds to a 2-second delta of fall off, you're costing yourself somewhere between 60 to 80 seconds in total over the course of the race. However, with that extra pit stop that you kind of save for yourself, I've caught myself into a pickle. There's no way that a one-stop strategy would be the preferred in that situation because of the rate of fall off. You would lose 60 to 80 seconds, one extra pit stop, let's just say a 40-second delta there. All of a sudden, you've lost yourself 20 seconds of time. So I don't know why this should be kind of the upper limit of what we're seeing right here with the pit stop strategy. Nelson, Wayne Scott down pit road right now. But we haven't really seen some of the front runners yet down pit road in this race.
Yeah, well, we just had that change out. Andrew Teft just came on down this time by. So they stretched to about 44, 45 laps on this stint. Wayne Scott amongst those coming out of pit road, cycling around mid-pack. Hearing some black flags coming out, including for Archibald. So the 99 has picked up a black flag in their pit cycle here.
This is not the race that Archibald would have liked to have at all. after being up front, just has not been a good, oh my goodness, just, I'm not sure what happened there. Wrong pit stall?
Yeah, possibly. He did pick up speeding, believe. Yeah, he definitely went to the wrong pit stall.
And if you're at the same speed, and you're also, I don't exactly understand how iRacing calculates it, but if you're at the same speed, but you're also cutting it down to the inside, if the black flag was for speeding in the pits, oh boy, that is a hard hit to the outside wall for, is that Steve Castle? Yeah, that is, hard hit. But if iRacing calculates it by distance, or like the time between each timing line in pit road, being down on the inside and being at the same speed, and we're talking about the inside as in all the pit boxes, is going to lead to a potential penalty, and it looked like he picked up speed. So, just rough deal.
Rolling Frost, meanwhile, is amongst those trying to stretch the strategy out here, along with Alex Taft. Both of them rolling the dice. And keep in mind, this would, for now, be a net difference to the leader between Frost and Dunaway, who is currently the net lead for the strategy, of 24 seconds. So Frost might be trying to stretch just to halfway potentially here, Dylan, if he keeps on going here at least. And then from there, hoping that the one stop, the difference on the racetrack, is going to last.
Yeah, this is
well, never mind.
This is
he just
interesting.
indicated he's pitting now. He's pitting now.
Yeah. There is no way he was going to make it. He was 2.5 seconds almost of fall off there. Oh my goodness, the 08. Was that Steve Sizemore? It was. That almost just ended the 96's race, and I wouldn't have necessarily blamed him for that.
Pit call came over the radio down the back straight away. That leaves just one. Alex Taft trying to roll the strategy dice once again here around this track, as Frost will now be joined by the 43, this time by Alex Taft, is indicated on the radio. They're going to be pitting this time around and have done so from the second groove. So everybody completing the service. But the overall lead that's about to change here is an interesting one. Dunaway, as mentioned, is currently your net about to become overall race leader, and just did. Andrew Tepp lost ground, but they are different by about 6 laps on pit strategy leaders.
Yeah, it's I don't hate the idea of hoping that a caution comes out, but it opens up the door for potential strategy later. I don't know if that's the right call to pit right now. You can go to the end of the race. Or no, you can't. Man, I'm walking myself in circles tonight. I like the alternate strategy call, but it's I don't think it's going to really lead to anything unless they're all banking on a potential caution to come out in this race, which we're almost halfway through, and I'm surprised none have come out yet.
Oh, and some contact, turn 3. Steve Castle just may have put the one into the wall. Truth Hook, rather, hitting the side of the one. We stay green as an air scrape up for the one who was already caught speeding. Let's take a look. And believe this is the wrong lap.
Well, the one's just going really slow right here, obviously, with much worn tires. What is going on? This is a little bit of erratic driving.
I think they're just late by the leaders. They just have to contact a couple times to go now. Apologies there, as he's still trying to find his water wings. It just took a spot, in fact, on the racetrack, I believe. No, it's a big difference in laps, rather. So, we're almost at halfway through this race here. And some of the drivers having massive overlaps with the tire cycles here and the speed differences. Barry Nelson amongst those multiple spots behind and already a lap down here, having to let by some leaders.
Yeah, we're seeing some drivers. Troy Thomas, by the way, is on that weird alternate strategy where he pitted very early, went 2 laps down. He's still a lap down, and he's really hoping for a caution about right now because I mean Thomas is on this is on 51 laps right now on these tires and probably pitting here.
Oh, so tempers just flared on the radio. Troy Thomas coming down as Rob Yost Jr. just lit up on the radio. He nearly hit Barry Nelson, trying to avoid the 3 truck here.
Don't you love when the radio lights up with some anger and everybody can hear it? Like in the race, the drivers hear it during the race. Just imagine what NASCAR, or Formula One, or IndyCar would be like if all the drivers could hear their anger towards each other and towards others.
I mean, they did have that at Daytona and Talladega.
We did.
In the past.
We really did. I hope they bring. I wish they brought that back. Tandem super speedway racing was awesome, but I digress.
A long time ago at this point. Holloman trying to make a move. This is amongst the top 5 here. Truth Hulk lets the 32 on go. And quite swiftly, in fact, on that pass. 3-lap tire difference between the two of them. That's how big the difference is. Even a couple laps seems to be a massive difference on speed here.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. It is a large difference in speed. I mean, you look at a driver like Sean Dunaway, right? Right now, lap times are around a second of fall off after just 23 laps. That's pretty in line with what the average was after that first run that lasted close to 23 laps. If we look at Alex Teff's lap time, it's around a half second off. That's around a half the stint that Sean Dunaway has right now. So you can kind of start to see where you almost lose, I'd say, on average, a half a tenth per lap every lap you go by. You add that up, and it can be around 2 seconds, and it starts to become more if you stay out past that 40 lap green flag run point.
And some of those who stayed out for 50 lap stints, mind you, are as far back as 16 seconds from the race leaders, mind you. That's how much time they ended up losing from that strategy call around the racetrack. By the way, technical issue, Steve Sizemore. So that's now added another driver that's had issues here tonight. Though they should start falling down the leaderboard right about now and are falling down said leaderboard here. Past halfway, the lead is under 2 seconds. Sean Dunaway proving the strategy might be in a decent spot for the next pit stop window in about 15 laps time.
Yeah, not too bad, not too shabby right here for Sean Dunaway. It's just going to be very difficult to hold on to 6-lap fresher tires, just because if we go by that number that I was saying just a little bit ago, that's around 0.3 separation of fall off on average. In reality, between Dunaway and Teff, last lap times, that was a 25.8 and then a 25.4. Look what that was 3.5 tenths. The numbers, JP. So Teft is really reeling in Dunaway. Should get up to the 01 in 3-4 laps times, and then you really have to start conserving the tires, or at least being a pest and trying to keep Teft behind if you want a chance to win this race, if it stays under green the whole way.
Well, at this point, Teft's going to take the race lead in the next 5-10 laps. The thing is, right about the time of the pit stop window. So we'll keep an eye on that here for these competitors as they get set to deal with 52 laps to go. Heumann, by the way, has found his way fully to third by a comfortable 7/10 of a second. The air battle now on screen here, and also includes the 55. Hoke, Alonso's on fresher tires compared to the 8, looking to try and set something up for a pass. You can see the difference in the racing lines right now. Hoke very committed to the high side, Dylan.
Yeah, Hoke is very committed to that high side. It's going to give a lot of momentum right here to get even closer to the 8 machine of Curtis Ecker. This is around a 5-lap tire difference here. Last lap times for these two drivers, it was about a 1/10.5 off of each other. Hoke is right there. He's going to run that high line again. Air a little bit taken off on the exit of the corner by Ecker. But again, the momentum is going to bring the 55 ever so slightly closer to the 8. It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. And that's what we're going to see right here. Can Andrew Teff get the pass done? 4 laps ago, we were talking about the pass potentially being done in 4 laps. Well, it hasn't been done. Now 5 laps later, but Teff is right there and right with a chance to take the lead against Sean Dunaway.
Trying to make this very swiftly. Right now, running about a 1/10 or 2 difference per lap on speed. Was 3/10 of a second difference before Jordy Air started to factor on in. Jeff to try and stick to the inside line. Now ready to line something up for a dive. Dunaway like to keep it up high. Here comes the 98 for the race lead. Underneath the 01, makes the pass simply and gets it done. Andrew Teft now up to the race lead. We'll see where the gap now settles for the time to peel on in.
Yeah, now let's see how close or how far away Teft is able to run, because this is where the race will be very measurably in Teft's hands, and I wouldn't say won, but in Teft's hands or not. Because in 7 laps or so, that's when we get to that pit window, or a lap here, a lap there, that we're going to get the undercut and the overcut. But if Dunaway is able to keep in tow with Teft, who's able to do that lap, then we have a little bit of a race on our hands, and that would make it quite exciting if this race does stay green. Alice Gates is trying to get by Truth Hoke, who has started to hit a bit of a wall right here. Hoke was chasing down Curtis Ecker. What happened?
Yes, indeed. Still no major swap arounds outside of Gates, and finding a way around the 55 recently. We'll gain Hoke down to 7th. Let's take a look at a replay. This is why. Bouncing off the wall down Thunder Alley. Taking some wicked hits to the inside.
That is a good explanation as to why Hoke was not able to get the move done. I wonder how much that's going to impact that truck. And oh, look at that right up ahead. I thought we had contact between some drivers just in front. 44 laps to go. Rabios Jr. is down pit road. The first driver to pull in. A lot more about to come down.
Yes, indeed. The pit window is open. What's been a green and mostly clean race here tonight. Inside of one stack up at the start. But outside of that, these drivers have not been impeded by the color yellow from the flag stand there this evening. Again, it lives up to the nature of this series that has a tradition and a mindset to keep it clean.
Yeah, and oh boy, right up into the outside wall. That was, you saw that little bit of smoke right there, and we did see some potential spinners down the backstretch on lap 1. So the green stayed out, the truck stayed going straight, and we still have many drivers within earshot, potentially getting the opportunity for a race win if the caution does come out. Many are still in the lead lap as this pit cycle really gets going underway. The real question is, out of Dunaway and Teft, And what a great job, by the way, Dunaway had done to keep within earshot of Kef's times. I got to say, we've got a race in our hands. Who blinks first and goes down pit road?
Yes, indeed. Right now, they're still within 8/10 of a difference of each other, those leaders, mind you. As that mark that we normally would see some of the stops is around here. We might see Temp go up to 90. Barry Nelson just indicated a pit stop coming up in the imminent future. And once those ready to peel on down. So Wayne Scott also coming in. Acker already put the hand out the window also. Have been holding on to the top 5. But now come on down this time by this pit road. Just have to be careful you don't hit those barriers. A lot of people keeping it conservative on the entry tonight.
Track temperature has only come down 3 degrees at 114 degrees Fahrenheit. That will help ever so slightly to drivers who are trying to deal with worn tires at the end of this run or coming near the checkered flag. I wonder how much that's potentially helped the 01 machine of Sean Dunaway keep in tune with the 98 of Andrew Teft. But the more that these laps go away, the more fierce and fast that this battle for the race win will be.
Right now, see how big the separation goes, as indeed some drivers peeling on down pit road. Clint Holyman this time by part of that cycle. Gap between the leaders 1.1, 1.2 seconds now. Dunaway is coming down this time by. The 01 has taken the left-hand turn to the commitment cones. 40-mile-an-hour speed limit on pit road, mind you, here tonight. As the 98 is responding immediately, not going to risk having to claw their way back this time.
All right, that tells me that there's a little bit of fear on the 98's behalf. This is going to be very close once the 98 comes back out and is at speed, if there are no problems between both the Teft pit stop and the Dunaway pit stop. Dunaway's time down pit road was let me see, it's right, still going on. I'll let you know in around 5 seconds where it lies for Dunaway to see that delta 42.356 pit lane time. That is going in down pit road, having the stop, and coming out of pit road. So let's see what the difference is. If it's around 0.7 of a second and it's in the Dunaway favor, that might mean a change to the lead, and it could be really nerve-wracking here for Teft. Coming out of pit road, JP.
Here we go. Where will they cycle?
Right there.
Dunaway drives around. Dunaway to the lead. Dunaway takes the advantage by 3-4 truck lengths.
Now there's a provisional leader in the 01 for Sean Dunaway right now. They're on 4th and 5th on track at the moment, but my goodness, that was exactly what we were talking about. Dunaway's lap time, or I should say pit lane time, was 0.4 exactly quicker, and he also came out with a little bit more speed because of that one extra lap of fresh tires. So now let's see what each of them have for each other. Oh, Dunaway almost got into the outside wall there.
And can't make any contact up here, but this is going to be close once the leaders the rest of the way. They do have a lot of traffic they'll have to deal with. Sanfilippo and Frank Chavez are just up the road. That could play a bit of a factor here on how much time they stay separate out. So 1 lap difference on the Goodyear Eagles. Should be about the same on momentum. Lap traffic stays up high this time to 1 and 2.
My goodness, yeah, this is a good fight that we're about to get here, and they have to deal with traffic. We really didn't see this much at IRP the other week where traffic became a major factor in this race, but it's really becoming a factor here. The 01 wants the 13 to get out of the way, but Frank Chavez says, hey, listen, I'm in 13th right now. I still want my position, and I don't want to go 2 laps down. That's exactly what happens, though. Frank Chavez goes another lap down right there. Oh, boy, this is going to be fun.
It's going to be an intriguing one the rest of the way. That's the thing. Between these two, Alex Taft, as to be expected, is stretching the run as far as possible, hoping for a caution flag. 43 always tries to play things different. They only make it only 40 laps on this run. And comes to 43, and this means Dunaway retake the race lead coming out of turn 4 and down the front straightaway. Archibald also stretched at 46 laps, hoping for a caution. Did not get it either. So, 30 laps to work with for the fight up front. How do you try and set up the pass will be the huge question on everybody's minds here as these two stay near bumper to bumper.
This is intense. This is exciting. Last lap time for Sean Dunaway, this lap time I should say, was around 8 or 7 hundredths slower than Andrew Teft. I mean, Teft's right there, and we know how good Teft is under pressure. But Sean Dunaway, I mean, it's all right there for him. If Sean Dunaway is able to get a win, yes, up 37 points on the cut line. But imagine getting a win and certifiably getting yourself into the playoffs, or the chase, excuse me. That would be a lovely thing.
It's a lot more easier for you from here on out if you're able to come out front. Dunaway's been close a couple times as of late. Seemed like he had decent speed at IRP, but not race-winning speed. Taft ready to set something up, though, to try and rip this lead away. It's a battle amongst the teammates here. And how does the teammate factor now play into this? I know some teams are racing on out, let's battle it out. Others like to play with the kitty gloves. Not the reference to Hello Kitty, of course. But well, we should see these drivers racing pretty aggressive as long as they don't wreck each other. They have the gap to fight at more than 3 seconds.
I mean, this is, I don't think anyone else is going to have an opportunity. Blair Hollyman right now is 2.5, 3 seconds back of the race lead and is on a similar tire strategy. I don't see anyone else having an opportunity here if this race stays green the rest of the way. It's purely based on the speed of these two drivers and these two trucks over the final 24 laps of the race. Yes, Teft has a 1-lap tire advantage, but as we talked about, that's around half a hundredth over the course of a long run. I really don't think we're going to see half a hundredth play any part here. All that matters is that Dunaway got the undercut, got out in front, had a faster pit stop, and pit out time, and now he's got the lead of this race. It's all in front of him. He just has to not look at what's behind him.
It's going to require so much cautiousness. I want these drivers here to make sure you get the pass done cleanly and quickly. And the tough thing is right now, Taft is equalizing against Dunaway rather than closing on up. And we know it took about 30 laps in the close up if there was a tire difference. Not that decision coming in amongst these drivers here. Now, here's the major thing here in regards to this is what do you do? What can you do to try and change things up here? The top doesn't seem to be working. Taft has been committed to the middle bottom this entire race.
Are you, I mean, what do you, JP, I feel like as this race has gone on, I don't think I've seen that much change in the grooves here and where these trucks have raced. I mean, right there is probably the lowest I've seen these two drivers go, and that was only because there was a lapped car up in front. Maybe it's come down a little bit as the race has gone on, but I wonder how much of that is just because it's almost like a two-truck tango here.
That's a rare thought to say on the short tracks, though, to have a two-car tandem usually, is it not?
Well, no. Two trucks having a little bit of a tango. They're both right here, kind of matching each other's lines, or at least the 01 goes a little bit low. The 98 tries to cut in low, ends up going a bit high coming into the corner. Tries to just look at the door being open. It doesn't happen. The 98 just took a different line this time by not a two-car tandem, but a two-truck tango, where they're just trying to figure out each other's moves and just see what the 98 can do to get by, or the 01 can do to keep the 98 behind.
And nothing's gone doing. In fact, Dunaway's been a little bit quicker than that 98 machine throughout this stint so far. The average of the past 10 laps, 4 1,000ths quicker on average for Dunaway compared to Teft, and Teft is now trying something different. He tries the diamond line to see if there's any close up out of 2. The answer is a tiny bit. Might have found something in that part of the racetrack, but getting loose now into 3.
I mean, at this point, it is all about the nerves on Dunaway, the nerves on Andrew Teft. 16 laps to go. I mean, this race will be over in give or take 6-7 minutes if it stays green. Can they hold on? Can Dunaway hold on for 6 or 7 minutes?
That's going to be the nervous part if you break it down by the minutes. That's still a decent amount of time in racing terms for something to happen to shake things up here. Right now, Teft trying everything possible to try and find a way to craft to close up. They have Steve Castle and Truth Hope at risk of falling laps down. And the unfortunate thing is, for some of the drivers, like we've seen from the performance standpoint, some of the drivers tonight had good first stints. Truth Hope has fallen down the order. Others, like Alex Gates, have risen up to the occasion, by the way, to give a quick shout to him. He's been able to get himself up to 4th and pass his way past Kurt Secker as of late, so the 77 in Eric couldn't race tonight.
That was a bit scary, a little bit hairy right there for Andrew Teft, having to get through some lapped traffic. Everybody else, except for the top 8, now 1 lap down in this race. Oh my goodness, you see that truck with a little bit of a wiggle. I think it was Steve Castle who almost went for a bit of a spin right there. If you're Dunaway, if you're Teft, I don't know what you prefer. Maybe if you're Teft, you want another go, but maybe you're also hoping that this race goes the rest of the way. I think these two drivers are just going to hate whatever happens over the next 12 laps until they see the checkered flag. Everybody else, though, they want a caution to come out.
Eleven laps to work with here in this race. To go. Less than 10 laps to work with here in this one as we get it zooming around the racetrack. Coming around to 8 laps to go. Frost amongst those trying to battle still is separated out for Wayne Scott. The lead starting to separate out here too. Some of the lap traffic on fresher tires ready to break things up a little bit, Dylan.
Yeah, it's going to make things a little bit more interesting for these drivers. And oh wow, Alex Jeff is not really making it easy on his brother right here. He almost gave a little bit of a side draft coming off the corner of number 2 and has really hurt the drivability of Andrew Teff's race car, but now he's back in line. Maybe he'll try and push a bit here. That was odd. That wasn't the most opportune time to get underneath the left rear quarter panel if you are the 98 and hoping for some help from the 43.
Yeah, right now a bit of the wiggles there. I popped on up for the 98 machine. Tires seem to have gone away for Deft, similar to what happened at the end of the last run, although it wasn't exaggerated because the fresher tire difference compared to the 01 to make the pass initially. 5 laps to go here from the Rock. Green the entire way, less than an hour to get the race done. That's how it's done here in Racers Elite, very quick. Now, this point, Def might be doing the caution dance because that truck is absolutely becoming a handle to be able to hold on in the first place here.
Yeah, we really have to give a hand to Sean Dunaway because he has earned this potential opportunity here to go to victory lane. At this point, it is just a matter of will this race go green the rest of the way? Just a few more laps before we get the answer to that.
Give credit to Alex. He's letting Andrew drive the truck. Well, he was letting him ride up, just sitting on behind. May as well let him go after you're stuffing at the fence. Still 3 laps to go here in this one as the brothers now line up. And Alex just tries to get his lap back at least to close out the race.
Can you imagine the nerves right here for Sean Dunaway to just race to the white flag?
Yeah, hoping nobody makes any major mistakes here. And all of a sudden, surprise attack spin. Everyone's pretty spaced out here, so it have to be a major mistake on your own. But doesn't seem like that is going to happen here. 3 and 4, Dunaway coming up to the white flag. This time by, ready to make the Hello Kitty car and truck smile its way to victory lane. Final time around from Rockingham. Dunaway so far has controlled things throughout the night. Almost a 2-second lead to close out things. The third different winner about to appear here on Racers Elite for Truck Series competition. Tonight's action for the Family Traditions RV Rentals Fixed Truck Series goes to Sean Dunaway at the Rock.
That was just one of the most impressive drives that we have seen in recent times. We knew Sean Dunaway had a ton of speed in that 01 machine, but to go mano a mano against Andrew Teft, winner of 3 races coming into this 5th race of the year. A little bit of a hit from the bumper of Andrew Teft, and well deserved because Dunaway had to climb back up through the field to have a shot to beat Teft, and he did just that. So impressive.
And he's going straight down towards the grass to burn it on out. Why not, he says. Throw a Daytona-style celebration at the Rock. And his first win this season in this series. That's now the 2nd driver from Chicken Coop Racing to fly the coupe and find their way to the new pasture that is Victory Lane. And as Sean Dunaway finds his way to Victory Lane, we'll take a quick step aside. We come back, post-race results. You're watching Maconi Entertainment for tonight's coverage of Racers Elite.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage of Racers Elite as we get ready for our post-race coverage here at Maconi Entertainment from Rockingham. Let's take a look at the race results. Sean Dunaway over Andrew Teft and Blair Hoyman will be speaking with those drivers in a few moments. Alex Gates and Curtis Ecker get top 5s with Frost, Wayne Scott, Hoke, Alex Teft, and Rob Yost Jr. your top 10, Dylan.
Continuing to go down the order, Frank Chavez finishes 2 laps down in 11th. Philip Archibald, just a race that did not end up going the way you would have wanted, finishes in 12th. Barry Nelson also 2 laps down. Brandon Sanfilippo 3 laps down in 14th. Trent Thomas 15th for him. Steve Castle 8 laps down. Everybody else had much worse nights or just didn't make the race in the first place. Steve Sizemore, Alan Bergen, and Rowan Lloyd round out your 19 truck finishing order.
Look top to bottom here tonight of the action and the running order here at Racers Elite, Maconi Entertainment. Our race winner is now standing on by. Sean Dunaway gets the chance to celebrate the 3rd different winner this season. Sean, how are you feeling about coming home in victory lane here tonight at the Rock? How stressful was it?
Yeah, it feels good to win, that's for sure. That first stint, my screen it froze for like about 4 to 5 seconds. That's why you kind of saw me hit the wall there. I could hear the race cars. I can feel the force feedback in my wheel. But yeah, for like 4 to 5 seconds there, couldn't really see anything. Had to hit the wall there. So I had to pit early that first stint. Stayed a little longer the second stint just so I could be a little more equal with the tires to finish it off there.
So how difficult was it to decide on how tire strategy would play out? We've seen you try the overcut strategy. It was the undercut rather in the first pit stop stint. How difficult was it to try and manage tires to try and equalize things out and hold off drivers like Andrew Teft?
Yeah, it ended up not being so bad for me. I feel like the leaders were staying out a little too long, and because of that, they were just losing a lot of time on track. So because of that, I was able to just kind of manage my tires a bit better. Even during that second stint, I was still able to keep up with Andrew. I was only about less than a second away from him before we started pitting there. So yeah, luckily on that last stint, I really conserved the tires there, tried to ride the low line basically for about 30, 40 laps until I really went there at the end there. So yeah, good stuff.
So next time out is going to be a different race, and it's not a race that's normally on the schedules. It's Chicago Street Circuit, but in a truck. Your thoughts on Chicago?
Yeah. I don't even know if I own the track on iRacing, so I think I'm going to have to download it, probably practice a little more, because, it's a road course. I at least need about an hour practice or so before the race. But yeah, hopefully we can get a top 5 again there, but we'll see what happens.
Any shows you'd like to give here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank my wife, my mom and stepdad for always watching, and then my cats for always trying to ruin my race.
Congratulations on the win here tonight, Sean.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Sean Dunaway comes away with a win. Andrew Teft does not come away with a win. Three-time winner of the season, does get in our top 5. He's with Dylan.
Yeah, Andrew, it was a really solid race from both you and Sean right there. And I feel like once that final pit stop call was made at the time that Sean made it, did you feel like you had to respond right away, or exactly kind of the worst fear was realized?
Yeah, kind of. Maybe I should have gone a couple more laps. Not really sure. Just kind of used up my stuff a little bit more that last run. I didn't really have anybody in front of me the first couple of runs. So maybe I just had better air, but the right front was a little mad at me that last run.
Just a little bit of driving in on that right front. Hey, we all do it when we're on the chase as well. But it's funny. 3 races, 3 race wins for you this season coming into this race. You're still right up top on the chase standings at the midway point. Obviously, you don't have much to worry about before the regular season ends, but what are your goals? What are your hopes heading into the chase when it eventually does come time for that 4 race chase starting at Iowa?
um, Kind of just want to keep on racking up bonus points for the chase start. Each of these wins is an extra 3 points when we start the chase period at the end of the season, and we also pay points for where you finish in the regular season. So hoping just to keep up the consistency and build myself a little buffer for the chase period.
Well, next week's going to be a little bit interesting. Trucks at the Chicago Street Course. What are you thinking about that?
I do all right there. I'm probably feeling like top 5. It's got some long straights with some heavy braking, which kind of my weakness at road courses. I like the configurations where there's just a ton of left and right, not really long straightaways. So see what happens. I think we might have been there in a next gen car the last time we were there, or some other car. Not sure if we've been there in a truck yet, but should be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Andrew, congratulations. I'll give you the floor to give thanks to who you want to give it to, but P2, not too shabby.
Yeah, congrats to Sean. He ran a great race there. He actually had some adversity in that first run. I think his screen turned off for a moment and he hit the wall a little bit and drove all the way back from that. So great job for him. And I want to thank our servicemen and women, Maconi Entertainment, for helping out in the booth, Maconi Setups. I want to thank Family Traditions RV Rentals, our series sponsor. I want to thank our team. We've got some really great teammates. Sean's one of them. And I want to thank my family, friends. And if you're interested in checking us out, just head on over to racerselite.com. You can find all of our info there. Schedule standings, Discord invites, the whole 9 yards.
All right, Andrew. Congrats once again. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, Andrew Teft finishes P2 in this race. JP, we do have one more driver to talk to, and that'd be you with Blair Hollyman.
Yes, indeed. Blair Hollyman now joins us in the broadcast booth. How would you describe your night here in the 32?
I'd say the evening was pretty much an uphill battle. I qualified really bad and I had to climb my way from there.
Yeah, you climbed up 8 spots here tonight, mind you, in this race. How tricky was it to try and make some of these passes while also managing the tires?
Man, that was its own battle. Because if you'd missed the entry in the corner and one, the majority of the time I was trying to run the bottom, try to save the right front as much as I could. But you pretty much just had to time a good pass on these guys because when they're running the high side, if you don't get pretty much 3/4 of the way in front of them by the corner exit of 2, they're just going to come flying right back by you going into 3 and 4. And it took a lot of patience. You had to wait for people to start burning off tires, and then the occasional wall touch also helped. It was like when I see somebody tag the wall, it's like I have a chance here to make a quick pass. But all in all, just trying to save tires here is a very, very difficult thing to do.
So the next approach is going to be Chicago Street. How do you feel about your road course racing abilities?
It's another race. Sadly, I get to miss. I really do wish I got to run it though, because when it comes to road courses in this league, haven't had a finish outside the top 3 yet in the seasons I've ran. So I was kind of hoping that I'd be running in there, but I have a training for work next week, so I'll be a state away, so I won't be over here to run. But I'll definitely be watching. We'll see who's able to hot-foot it around a track with no grip at all in a truck that has a lot of horsepower.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah. Of course, team captain Yost. His night I saw didn't go very well, but he was able to keep the truck mostly clean. Just had bad timing with a couple of misfortune incidents. My dad, I know he's watching, so hopefully he was entertained seeing me march on through the field. Tonight's throwback, as you see, it's the Truex's 04 KFC paint scheme when he won at Dover, and it didn't look half bad from what I could see, at least looking at the screen right now. It looked pretty good.
Once again, congratulations on the podium here tonight, Blair.
Thank you, guys.
Blair Hyman rounds out our podium discussions here on Maconi Entertainment. I'd like to take the time to thank the top 3 for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on Maconi Entertainment. Your final thoughts on this one tonight, Dylan, as we get ready for a unique challenge next week in Chicago.
The long run and the tire wear really made this a very intriguing race. I didn't think we would see a caution-free 120 laps here at Rockingham, but once again, Racers Elite really does show up and show out. Some great racing all throughout the field, and I mean a very intriguing storyline that we got from the battle for the win of this race. Congratulations to Sean Dunaway, and I mean just a phenomenal race for him.
Yes, indeed. Remember, that next race is going to be August 26th, the date. Be sure to circle it. It's at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time when we will get to the starting grid. Catch that here on Maconi Entertainment. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. I'd like to thank you for tuning in for tonight's action. Calling the action tonight was myself, Justin Prince, alongside Dylan Coyle, with Christian Hill producing. Thanks to our viewers for watching tonight's racing action. Hope you stay tuned to our social media pages for our next race. Thanks to the entire staff for their work in bringing this racing to you. This has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We'll see you next time.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.